want to check for a pulse, we did, but yeah, we don't need.
Can we just put the light back on him just to confirm him?
No, they don't. Our sergeant said if he's dead, he's to just leave it.
It ended in stillness. In a quiet parking lot that wasn't supposed to mean anything, Nipsey Hussle was just steps away from the store he built from the ground up, a place he poured his heart into, getting ready to leave like any normal day. No warning, no sign that this moment would be his last. Different paths led these artists to different places, but the silence afterward was the same, and hidden inside surveillance footage are details most people never noticed. Before Nipsey, there was XXXXTentacion. To understand what really happened, we have to rewind to June 2018. A motorsports dealership in Deerfield Beach, Florida became the final backdrop for one of the most controversial and influential young artists of his generation. At just 20 years old, XXXTentacion took his last breath, cutting a rising career brutally short. He was born in 1998 in Plantation, Florida, to parents of Jamaican descent. His early life was unstable, marked by constant financial pressure and uncertainty. As a kid, Yase was often cared for by his grandmother, while his mother worked non-stop just to keep things together. That chaos, that feeling of never being settled, soaked into his music. His sound was raw, emotional, and deeply personal, touching on pain, depression, and feeling disconnected from the world. Music became his escape. In 2014, at only 16 years old, he uploaded his first track, Vice City, to SoundCloud. What separated XXTentacion from everyone else wasn't just his honesty, it was his refusal to stay in one box. He blended emo, trap, rock, and R&B into something unpredictable and impossible to ignore. Then came 2017. His album 17 exploded into a cult phenomenon. Young listeners felt seen, heard, and understood. By 2018, XXXTentacion was one of the most streamed artists on the planet. His song, Sad, would eventually hit #1 on the Billboard Hot 100, but heartbreakingly, that achievement came only after his death. On that day in June, he visited Riva Motorsports to shop for a motorcycle. What he didn't know was that he wasn't alone. Surveillance footage later revealed he was being watched. As he attempted to pull out of the parking lot in his BMW i8, a dark SUV suddenly blocked his path. Everything happened fast. He was robbed of approximately $50,000 in cash and shot multiple times. Emergency responders rushed him to a nearby hospital, but it was too late. The footage is chilling. You can see how calculated the setup was, how his car was boxed in, leaving him nowhere to go. Police body camera footage shows the chaos that followed. Officers scrambling, witnesses frozen in shock, and the devastating reality of a young life ending right as it was reaching new heights.
We're just gonna put the light back on just to confirm.
Okay.
Just put the light back on.
Hey, let me just hold on. Let me just make sure. Probably. I can't get through.
Four suspects were eventually arrested. During the trial, prosecutors revealed the attack was planned, with the suspects allegedly following XXXTentacion from his home earlier that day. His death sent shockwaves through the music world. Millions of fans mourned online and in the streets. Vigils popped up everywhere. His life, like his death, was surrounded by controversy, emotion, and unanswered questions. But the next story tells a different kind of tragedy. Where XXXTentacion embodied chaos and emotional volatility, Nipsey Hussle stood for growth, discipline, and purpose. He represented redemption, a vision of turning pain into progress and giving back to the very place that raised him. Nipsey Hussle, born Ermias Joseph Asghedom in 1985 in Los Angeles, was the son of an Eritrean immigrant father and an African-American mother. He grew up in the Crenshaw district, a neighborhood that shaped not just his music, but his worldview. As a young man, he became affiliated with the Rollins 60 Crips. That affiliation could have ended his story early, but Nipsey chose a different direction. He stepped away from street life and used his experiences to build something bigger. His Bullets Ain't Got No Name mixtape series made him a respected voice in his community. But Nipsey didn't believe music alone was enough. He wanted real ownership, real change. That mindset led him to open the Marathon clothing store right in Crenshaw. It wasn't just business, it was a statement. Proof that investing back into your own neighborhood could create opportunity. His debut album, Victory Lap, dropped in 2018 and earned a Grammy nomination. It was the result of years of believing in himself when the industry didn't. The album pushed themes of economic empowerment, independence, and long-term vision. Then came March 31st, 2019. Nipsey was standing outside his store when Eric Holder approached him. Surveillance cameras from nearby businesses captured every angle. The approach, the exchange of words, and then the gunfire. Nipsey was shot multiple times and collapsed on the ground. He was only 33 years old. The footage is devastating in its detail. It became key evidence in the trial. Eric Holder was later convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to 60 years to life in prison. What made Nipsey's death even more painful was what he was working toward. He was scheduled to meet with LAPD officials to discuss preventing gang violence. He was developing a documentary about Dr. Sebi. By all accounts, he was lifting others up as he climbed. His memorial filled the Staples Center with over 21,000 people. A 25-mile funeral procession moved through Los Angeles, passing through Crenshaw one last time. Nipsey was gone, but the marathon didn't stop. And while Nipsey escaped early tragedy, the next artist never left the fire behind. Chicago-shaped King Von. Born Davon Daquan Bennett in 1994, King Von was raised in O'Block, officially known as Parkway Gardens. Violence wasn't distant there, it was daily life. The area was heavily influenced by gang activity, and survival often came before dreams. King Von became affiliated with the Black Disciples at a young age. By his late teens, he had already experienced incarceration. But behind bars, something unexpected happened. He found books. Urban novels that mirrored his own life sparked a new passion. Those stories pushed him toward rap. When he was released, he turned his experiences into sharp, vivid storytelling. That talent caught the attention of Lil Durk, who signed him to the OTF label. King Von's breakout track began changing everything. In 2018, King Von showed the world exactly why his voice hit different. His music felt like movies without a screen. Every bar painted a scene so clear you could picture it frame by frame. That style became known as storytelling drill, a lane he helped define from the ground up. Tracks like Took Her to the O didn't just blow up, they went multi-platinum. Fans felt like they were right there with him, walking those same blocks, seeing the same moments. King Von wasn't just rapping, he was narrating real life. Everything pointed towards superstardom. Then came November 6th, 2020. Outside a hookah lounge in Atlanta, Georgia, a confrontation broke out between members of King Von's entourage and associates connected to rival rapper Quando Rondo. Tensions flared fast. What started as words spiraled into gunfire. There's no clear public video of the shooting itself, but body camera footage released through FOIA requests shows the chaotic aftermath. Police racing to the scene, sirens screaming, confusion everywhere. Hospital footage reveals how frantic that night became as doctors fought to save multiple victims. King Von was shot several times and rushed to Grady Memorial Hospital. Despite efforts to save him, he was pronounced dead at just 26 years old. The footage captures the panic and heartbreak, officers trying to lock down the scene while lives hung in the balance. News of his death spread instantly. Fans flooded social media with tributes. Fellow artists mourned openly. But his passing also reignited a painful conversation about violence surrounding hip-hop and the environments many artists come from. King Von's story was about a Chicago kid trying to escape through music, but he wasn't the only one chasing independence. Our next artist built an empire without permission. Young Dolph. If one word defined Young Dolph's career, it was independence. While the industry pushed contracts and control, Dolph moved on his own terms. Born Adolph Robert Thornton Jr. in Chicago in 1985, he was raised in Memphis, Tennessee, where hardship shaped him early. His parents struggled with addiction, so he was mostly raised by his grandmother in the Castalia Heights neighborhood of South Memphis. Those early years forced him to grow up fast. They planted a mindset of self-reliance that never left him. In 2010, Dolph launched Paper Route Empire, his own independent label. While others chased major deals, he built his own system from scratch. His high-class street music mixtape series built a loyal fan base that respected his honesty and business sense. His deep, unmistakable voice became his signature. One verse and you knew it was Dolph. He teamed up often with his cousin Key Glock, and together they became one of Memphis' most celebrated duos. Major labels came with big checks and promises. Dolph turned them all down. Ownership mattered more than money. Control mattered more than clout. Then came November 17th, 2021. Young Dolph stopped by Makita's homemade butter cookies in Memphis, a place tied to his childhood. It was his mother's favorite spot, and he often grabbed cookies for her. Security footage from inside and outside the bakery captured what happened next. Two men approached his vehicle and opened fire through the window. Dolph was killed instantly. He was only 36 years old. The aftermath shook the city.
Oh my God. Damn, they just killed Dolph, y'all. Y'all see his arm hanging out the window? Damn.
What the fuck is this? Yeah, that boy caught right there.
Surveillance footage became critical evidence in the investigation. Additional angles released in court showed the suspect's vehicle speeding away. Eventually, Justin Johnson and Cornelia Smith were arrested and charged in connection with the murder. Memphis was devastated. Dolph wasn't just a rapper, he was a pillar. He regularly gave back through Thanksgiving turkey drives and community support. The intersection near Makita's turned into a memorial flooded with flowers, candles, and handwritten messages. Young Dolph lived by independence, forged by a tough childhood. And the next artist shared that same pain, PNB Rock. PNB Rock's story is one of survival and resilience, cut far too short. Born Rakim Hashim Allen in 1991, he grew up in Philadelphia's Germantown neighborhood. Tragedy hit early. When he was just 3 years old, his father was murdered. That loss followed him for life. Raised in poverty, PNB Rock found himself pulled into the streets and eventually served time in prison on drug-related charges. But prison changed him. Behind bars, he found music. He started shaping a melodic sound that blended rap and R&B in a way that stood out. His influences ranged from Tupac to Drake, and his goal was clear: make music that lasted. After his release, he dropped his debut mixtape in 2014. Industry attention came quickly. Atlantic Records signed him soon after. His 2016 single Selfish became a breakout hit, showing his talent for emotional hooks mixed with real-life pain. Collaborations followed. His career was rising fast, and then everything stopped. PNB Rock looked like he was finally clear of the chaos. His career was moving forward, his sound was evolving, and his future felt solid. Then, on September 12th, 2022, everything changed in seconds. PNB Rock was dining at Roscoe's House of Chicken and Waffles in Los Angeles with his girlfriend when armed robbers entered the restaurant. Surveillance footage inside captured the terrifying sequence: the demand for his jewelry, the tense confrontation, and then the gunshots. He was just 30 years old. That footage became a key piece of evidence in the investigation and later prosecution. What made this case especially heartbreaking was how random it appeared. A robbery gone wrong, a father lost, a partner taken, and an artist who had worked relentlessly to rise above his past. PNB Rock carved his own lane as a solo artist, but the next story shifts from one voice to a powerful trio. Takeoff! When you think of Migos, you think of three voices moving as one. Quavo, Offset, and Takeoff dominated hip-hop for nearly 15 years. Their triplet flow and massive hooks reshaped modern rap. At the core of that sound was Kershnik Kari Ball, known to the world as Takeoff. Born in 1994 in Lawrenceville, Georgia, Takeoff grew up surrounded by music. His family bond ran deep, rapping alongside his uncle Quavo and cousin Offset from a young age. Music came naturally to him. By 7th grade, he was already making beats. That early instinct turned him into the group's most technically sharp member. Migos rose fast. Their 2016 hit Bad and Bougie reached #1 on the Billboard Hot 100. Their Culture album series became defining works of the late 2010s trap era. While Quavo often grabbed headlines and Offset drew public attention, Takeoff was widely respected as the quiet technician. His verses were precise, clean, and unforgettable. In 2022, Takeoff and Quavo dropped a joint project titled Only Built for Infinity Links under the name Unk and Foo. It signaled a new chapter, But that chapter would be painfully short. On November 1st, 2022, Takeoff and Quavo attended a private party at 810 Billiards and Bowling in Houston, Texas. In the early hours, a dice game sparked an argument. Surveillance footage from outside the venue shows the tension building, people gathering, voices rising, and then gunfire. Takeoff was struck and pronounced dead at the scene. He was just 28 years old. The footage shows something crucial. Takeoff wasn't part of the argument. He was a bystander, caught in a moment that had nothing to do with him. His death shocked the world, a life taken for no reason. His funeral was held at State Farm Arena in Atlanta, where thousands gathered to honor one of hip-hop's brightest talents. Wrong place, wrong time. But the next artist lived under constant pressure. Julio. Jacksonville, Florida has built a distinct rap scene. Raw, aggressive, and deeply tied to street realities. Few artists embodied that world like Julio. Born Charles Andrew Jones II in 1998, he emerged from Jacksonville's hilltop neighborhood with brutally honest lyrics. His music spoke on paranoia, loss, and survival. Ongoing rivalries were part of his sound, especially his public tension with fellow Jacksonville rapper Youngeen Ace. His 2022 album Life of Me showed his ability to turn chaos into compelling music. Fans respected his authenticity, even as his approach made him controversial. Then came June 23, 2024. Just hours after celebrating his 26th birthday at a Tampa nightclub, Julio was ambushed in the parking lot of a Holiday Inn. Surveillance footage later released shows suspects approaching his vehicle and opening fire. Multiple camera angles revealed coordination and planning. It was sudden, brutal, and final. Several suspects have since been arrested, and the case remains ongoing. His death once again highlighted the cycle of violence tied to ongoing feuds in Jacksonville's rap scene. Too many lives lost, too many stories cut short. And Julio wasn't alone. Our next artist carried controversy like a badge. YBC Dull. Philadelphia's drill scene has exploded in recent years. Loud, fearless, and dangerous. One of its most talked about names was YBC Dull. Born Abdul Vix in 1999 in West Philadelphia, YBC Dull rose with his crew, Young Bag Chasers. He earned the nickname Mr. Disrespectful for directly calling out rivals in his lyrics. No filters, no backing down. His music was confrontational, street-focused, and polarizing. In a city already filled with tension, that boldness made him stand out. And it also made him a target. His fearless, no-holds-barred style earned YBC Dull a loyal fan base in Philadelphia's drill scene. But that same boldness also made him a target. In a city where rap beefs often bleed into real life, the line between lyrics and danger was dangerously thin. On August 30th, 2024, that line disappeared completely. YBC Dull was shot and killed in Philadelphia. Newly released police surveillance footage captured the moments leading up to the shooting, including images of the suspect vehicle believed to be involved. Investigators have used this footage as they continue working to identify and arrest those responsible. He was just 25 years old, another rising voice silenced by violence that refuses to loosen its grip on hip-hop streets. YBC Dull represented the East Coast drill movement, raw and confrontational. But the next artist pioneered something entirely different on the West Coast. Drakeo the Ruler. Some artists are simply ahead of their time. Drakeo the Ruler was one of them, born Darryl Wayne. Caldwell Jr. in Los Angeles in 1993, he developed a style so unique, it reshaped the sound of an entire city. His whispered delivery, cryptic bars, and poetic flow stood out instantly. While others chased radio trends, Drakeo created what became known as the nervous music sound. Haunting beats, unconventional flows, and language that felt coded. He gained early traction through mixtapes in the mid-2000s. His track, Mr. Get Dough, later remixed by DJ Mustard in 2015, pushed him further into the spotlight. But his career was repeatedly interrupted by legal battles. In 2016, he was charged in connection with a shooting and spent years behind bars. Though eventually cleared of the most serious charges, that time away stalled his momentum. Still, when he was released, Drakeo came back sharper than ever. Projects like The Truth Hurts showed his growth and influence. Fellow artists praised him. Critics took notice. A full breakthrough felt inevitable. Then came December 18, 2021. Draco was backstage at the Once Upon a Time in LA festival when chaos erupted. A massive fight broke out involving dozens of people. In the confusion, Draco was stabbed multiple times. There is no clear public footage of the stabbing itself, but interviews and related video describe a violent, uncontrolled scene. The 28-year-old rapper later died from his injuries. His death sparked outrage. Fans and artists demanded better security at festivals. It raised serious questions about how protected artists really are in large public events. Draco died in chaos. Our final story ends very differently. Trouble. Born Mariel Samant Orr in 1987, grew up in Atlanta's Edgewood neighborhood. He began rapping at just 14, inspired by artists like Tupac, whose music spoke directly to real-life struggles. He built his buzz through mixtapes, especially December 17th, released in 2011. That project helped establish him as one of Atlanta's most promising rising voices. His feature on YFN Lucci's Key to the Streets brought mainstream attention. Trouble's music stayed grounded in authenticity, pulling straight from personal experience. Success was finally lining up. Then, on June 5th, 2022, everything stopped. Trouble was shot and killed at an apartment complex in Conyers, Georgia. This wasn't a street ambush or public confrontation. Authorities described it as a domestic incident. According to investigators, a man named Jamal Jones allegedly forced his way into the apartment where Trouble was staying and shot him. Surveillance footage reportedly captured Jones arriving, entering, and leaving shortly after the shooting. While the footage hasn't been publicly released, it was used to support the arrest and murder charges. Trouble was just 34 years old. His death was a chilling reminder that violence doesn't always come from the streets. Even those who escape one danger aren't always safe from another. These stories are different, but the ending feels the same. Talented artists, lives cut short, dreams unfinished. If this video made you think, hit like. If these stories matter to you, comment your thoughts below. If you want others to hear them too, share this video. And if you want more deep dives like this, subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next one. Thanks for watching. We'll see you on the next one.